to the Sunday live stream of Deerfield Fantasy Football. I am your extinguished, one of those words, host at Hot BFF with two P's, coming to you live from St. Louis. Joined by a black box where Dan Thury would normally be. He is in the middle of retail hell at the moment, so gonna go through quick starts, inactives and late breaking news, some possible fill-ins for that. Answer any questions if you got them. So, just going to start into the news. Bengals are going to reassess A.J. Green after this week. Suffered a preseason ankle injury, which has caused him to miss multiple weeks. There's some thought that he was going to be back this week. News out of the Bengals camp is that he re-aggravated it. I don't think A.J. Green plays this year. I went into that detail heavy on the Monday show, or on the Wednesday show. One of those shows from last week you should definitely go back and listen to. So, just if you've been holding AJ Green, might be maybe close to time to cut bait unless he's on an IR spot. Matthew Stafford going to be out week 10 against the Bears. He's got some fractured bones in his back. Doctors recommended he does not play. Jeff Driscoll to start. This shifts things majorly. Now, we saw Driscoll be productive with Cincinnati a bit, but Bears defense probably better than most of what he's faced. It's going to be a matter of if the offense can show up. It is kind of a cushy offensive matchup for Chicago, but you're going to have to temper some expectations for Golladay and Marvin Jones and the run game. Brian Hoyer is going to start for the Colts. Jacoby Brissett sits with a knee injury. This is the right call by the Colts. Is you don't and shouldn't rush Jacoby Brissett back from the sprained MCL in a game against the Dolphins. I'd expect Marlon Mack to have a big game. You also got Deion Kane that was released earlier in the week, and Paris Campbell out with a broken hand. So for the Colts, outside of Marlon Mack, you can probably run Zach Pascal out there or even Chester Rogers. But the thing that I cautioned, like with most games against Miami and the Colts having a solid defense, is that there's the potential for this game script to go very, very negative for this team. And outside of Marlon Mack, so don't invest too heavily in the pass catchers. Chris Herndon's going to play against the Giants today for the first time this season. Le'Veon Bell also going to be a full go. Sorry for the Jets against the Giants. So Herndon automatically, you would think, is going to step in and take some of that target volume away from Jamison Crowder. If you want to wait a week to see how healthy he is, how much he's used this year in a new offense, go for it. I got a couple places where I've been waiting for Herndon and plugged him in. And Le'Veon Bell being a full go, that's just take it for what it is. He's been banged up and inefficient, but he's a solid RB2. Amari Cooper is going to play against Minnesota. Adam Thielen will not be playing in that game, so adjust your lineups accordingly. Michael Gallup is good to go, so as well for Dallas. Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown both expected to play this week. Robbie Gould not going to play for Monday night, and neither is George Kittle. Kittle's doubtful, I guess I should say. So before the kickoffs, get your plugins for that. You don't want to take a doubtful player into Monday night, especially when there aren't any other really viable tight ends in that game. So probably best just throw Kittle on the bench versus taking the 0 with him being doubtful. He obviously doubtful to play, and then Robbie Gould not going to play. Find a kicker to pick up and replace him. He's just been all right. And if you're looking for that 49ers replacement kicker, it's Chase McLaughlin. George Kittle, like I just said, doubtful. Deion Kane was released to make room for Chad Kelly on the active roster. Chad Kelly is going to be backing up Brian Hoyer today. Brandon Cooks is cleared to practice on a limited basis, but he's out this week, so watch that going into next week. For the Saints, Traquan Smith, Alvin Kamara, Jared Cook, all declared to play against the Falcons. I expect this game could get pretty high scoring. So go ahead and run Traquan Smith out there if you need the bye week plug-in. Jared Cook, tight ends are messy. And Kamara, obviously, a start. Corey Davis is doubtful for week 10 against the Chiefs. A.J. Brown's probably going to be the beneficiary of that. I did go ahead and plug Tajay Sharp in to at least one lineup where I was absolutely desperate. But just shift the Titans passing game because I expect them to be playing catch up against the Chiefs for most of the day. Chase Edmonds is going to be out. It's going to give Kenyon Drake some flex value behind a returning David Johnson. We know that Kenyon Drake can be efficient enough to produce when he's only getting 10 to 12 carries in a game. We do know that Chase Edmonds was taking work away from David Johnson. So Feel confident starting Kenyon Drake, although the Bucs are above average against the run. James Conner's been ruled out for Week 10, so you're going to get a healthy dose of Jalen Samuels again. Patrick Mahomes will start this week. T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell, as I mentioned earlier, going to miss against the Dolphins. Hilton with the calf, Campbell with a broken hand. Matt Ryan will return against the Saints this week after missing last week with an ankle injury. Saints defense going into the bye was on a hot streak, so take that for what you will. And Damiere Byrd is inactive for Arizona if anybody has Damiere Byrd shares. That's all I got as far as news goes. As far as people that you could be looking at as plugins, Delaney Walker is not playing. Yep, Corey Davis is inactive. I mentioned that. Corey Davis is inactive, so you're going to slide up A.J. Brown and potentially Tajay Sharp. A.J. Brown is a guy ran out in some DFS, and again, I expect the Titans are going to be playing from behind. So I would absolutely go slide in A.J. Brown if you can, because I expect that to be a pass-heavy game script. Anyway, as far as some fill-ins, Delaney Walker's inactive, so Jonnu Smith is typically a pretty good replacement whenever that happens. You could also, like I said, A.J. Brown, Tajay Sharp, both out there for Tennessee in a game where I expect them to have to pass a lot with no Delaney Walker or Corey Davis. For Miami, with the shipping out of Kenyon Drake, the suspension of Mark Walton, Kalen Ballage will get the start. I'd expect we see Myles Gaskin for the first time. So keep an eye on those guys. I wouldn't plug either of them into your lineups, but, late breaking, LaShawn McCoy is inactive for the Chiefs also. So bump up to Darrell Williams, I believe, behind Damian Williams, probably in that. And then Antonio Callaway inactive for the Browns as well. All right, that's all I got for you today. If you do have questions, be sure to tweet at HotBFF, tweet the show. I don't know who will be here at some point next week for some of us. Probably Dan and I both, maybe just me. I have no idea yet because of retail scheduling. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for continuing to listen, continuing to stick with us as we get into the grind of the season, heading up to the fantasy playoffs. One other note, we do have some guest spots in the work where Dan and I will be on Football Garbage Time in the coming weeks. So be sure to check that out as well. See ya.